So basically, I created this funny video because I thought it was funny because I was playing some UFC 5. And basically, yeah, let's get straight into it. So basically, this thing that I created here is called the MMA Style Scale. So if you go here to the left, around here, you see this left right here, you got Umar Nurmagomedov. You go to the right, you got Usman Nurmagomedov. You go to the right, you got Islam Makhachev. And then you go to the right, you got Khabib Nurmagomedov. Alright, next slide. So right here. So basically, how the scale works, bro. So basically, the better your striking gets, right here, the worse your grappling gets. You know, you saw Umar Nurmagomedov against Merab Dvalishvili. You know, he kept getting taken down. You know, you may argue that he has a broken hand, but at the end of the day, it still holds true. You know, he kept getting taken down, and it just shows that you can't have, like, you can't be good at everything, basically. And then he just kept getting taken down, and then you go to the right here, you know, you get slightly better wrestling. You know, you saw his fight against Paul Hughes. You know, he has good striking, but he has slightly better wrestling than his brother Umar, because Umar works so much on his striking. You know, he's the question mark kicks, this and that. He keeps working on his creative kicks, his cool kicks, but in doing that, he makes his grappling worse in terms of, like, you know, offensive grappling, right? And then, you know, Usman, he's like a little bit better in grappling, but, you know, he's more cleaner striker. I mean, not striker, wrestler. You go to right here, you got Islam Makhachev, the champion of the world. He is better. He is 100% better than these two right here, bruh. You see his fight against Jack Della Maddalena. He held him down, bro. He held him down. And then you're like saying, but why is he here? You know, because his striking is better than Khabib's, you know. He knocked out one of the best strikers. You can argue that his striking on that fight was only happened because, you know, it's short notice. I don't remember if it was short notice, but you could say short notice. Or Alexander Volkanovski is short. He went up a weight class. That argument doesn't stand because Islam Makhachev went up, you know, and he still did good. And, you know, Volkanovski, he clipped him up pretty good, you know, in their first fight. But in that second fight, he knocked him out. He knocked down Charles Oliveira. And, you know, he submitted Charles Oliveira. He held down JDM, Jack Della Maddalena. He went up. And then, if you go to the right, you got better wrestling. Obviously, 100%. They asked a video on who would win in the fight. Islam Makhachev said that Khabib would win. You know, this could be him being humble, but 100%, the man who never bled in a sport of blood, the man who never bled, Khabib Nurmagomedov. So Khabib Nurmagomedov never bled because he had pure dominance, pure control, pure wrestling, and held and mauled. You know, he smashed all of his opponents, and it's crazy because he had better wrestling. But you know, you've seen the video clips of him in fights. He's like punching all over, throwing random overhand rights, and running and freaking kneeing. But regardless of how trash his striking is, his wrestling makes up for it. And yeah. So basically, talk about the strikers. You see this right here. Corey Sandhagen, one of the best strikers. Leon Edwards knocks out Kumar Usman. You got him here showing the fancy kicks that he always works on. But, you know, he never works on his grappling. That's why he lost to Merab. I'm just kidding. So better striking right here. We got here better striking, right? Equals worse grappling. So the pros of it, it's more entertaining. It has more aura. You know, it has more aura. Higher percentage of KOs, of standing KO, and more power. What I mean by more power is like you're more explosive. You know? But the cons is kicks and, you know, those long combos that you do. It makes you vulnerable to takedowns. You know? It makes you vulnerable to takedowns. And it makes you more vulnerable to pressure fighters. You know? You see here? He knocked him out here, but a pressure fighter like Sean Brady, a pressure fighter like Bilal Muhammad kept pressuring him until he knocked him out. I forgot to put Conor McGregor on here, but Conor McGregor, yeah, he had so much power. He knocked out Jose Aldo, but as soon as he got a pressure fighter like Khabib, boom, he couldn't handle the pressure. And worse cardio. What I mean by this is, the better you are at striking, the more you are to gas out. You saw that with Merab and Umar. Because you use so much power to strike, right? You use so much power to strike, and these kicks, you're putting power into it. You're using more movements when you grapple, when you wrestle. Humans are more better for that, because like it doesn't tax our cardio as much as striking does. Yeah, it's pretty tiring, but like if you're offensively grappling while they're trying to defend, and you're a much better grappler, you have better cardio, right? You just got worse cardio if you're a striker, bro. Because all you keep doing is trying to defend takedowns, and you get scared, bro. You get scared for that takedown. Wrestlers, better grappling and worse striking, bro. I don't know why I didn't put more pictures here, but yeah, you got Khabib Nurmagomedov, you got Umar Dvalishvili, these type of fighters. They're less entertaining, bro. That's the... Oh, fudge, why did I put in pros, bro? But that should have been cons. But skip that right there. Less entertaining, great for pressure, right? You got good pressure, great for dominance, and better cardio. You got Khabib, good cardio, Merab, good cardio, GSP, great cardio. And the cons, you're gonna get gay accusations, bro. They're gonna say, bro, you grapple, bro? Oh my god, just stand up. You're gay, bro. You're gay, bro. You don't have aura, bro. You're gay. And that's what Ilia Topuria did. He was a wrestler, but he got gay accusations, so he started striking. He has more aura now. Bigger chance of getting clipped. If you're fighting a striker, and you're always level changing. You're always level changing down to shoot for the takedown. They can uppercut you, they can knee you, they can clinch with you, they could one good shot and you're done for. Wrestlers got good chins, but at the end of the day, if you put too much confidence in your wrestling, you're gonna leave yourself vulnerable for a shot. That's the only way for striking to win. Like that's another con of it. Is the only way for a striker to win is the only way for striker to win against a wrestler is if he clips him. And then obviously a con is less power. And I don't mean like explosive power for takedowns, I mean like power, like shots. So the best of both worlds, the GOAT. So the GOAT, I chose Demetrius Johnson. He is the best of both worlds. You heard Joe Rogan say it in his video. The person with the best, that shows the best form of mixed martial arts is the man himself, Demetrius Johnson. You could call this glaze, bro, but at the end of the day, is the truth, bro. You see here, he suplexed to armbar Ray Borg, and then here he flying kneed Adriano Moraes, and here he was clinching Henry Cejudo till he can't clinch no more and knocked him out. Here he stand with arguably one of the greatest Muay Thai fighters to ever step on the planet, Rodtang, and he survived round 1. He's the best of both worlds because he has phenomenal BJJ, he has phenomenal Muay Thai, he has phenomenal grappling, he has phenomenal cardio, he has phenomenal IQ and clinching. These type of fighters are the best because none can stop them. When he lost to Henry Cejudo, he lost because Henry Cejudo, pressured him and wrestled him. But after that, I think that's when Demetrius Johnson became one of the best, or actually the best, the GOAT, because no one could ever stop him because he worked more on his grappling. Then that goes along with the IQ. Basically, IQ is not only about when you fight someone. You know what the right things to do. IQ is learning from your mistakes. He kept getting taken down by Henry Cejudo, and what happened after that is he went in the lab and bettered his skills in wrestling, in grappling. And yeah, now back here, MMA Style Scale. So you got better striking right here, but being better at striking will make your wrestling worse. So you gotta be like the GOAT, Demetrius Johnson, if you wanna be the best. That's enough for me, and be the best person you can be.